There's like a positive nature about you that will get imprinted onto everything that you do. And that's valuable for the world.
I think now is the time where I'm really writing that story. Like, I'm going to look back in the next like 5 to 10 years and go like 2023 was the year that Angie Faith's career like really took off. And then I met Kevin McCove and we became like partners and friends, and he helped me. And I just loved how like vulnerable we got to be with each other, like how real this interview, this conversation that we got to have was.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the McCove Mindset Podcast. I'm Kevin McCove, and this episode we're going to have on as our special guest the 2023 Joy Burst Talent Search winner. As you know, all of these episodes recently have been sponsored by Joy Burst, and I want to give a big thank you out to them for sponsoring these podcasts. And I'm really looking forward to interviewing the winner, Miss Angie Faith, and seeing what she's going to do with this $10,000 grand prize that she's won and how we can best move her career forward and take her to the next level. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let's get to it. So what's up?
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
It's really nice to actually meet you too, considering it was not too long ago that we were just like exchanging comments on TikTok.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Thank you so much for like answering all my questions, like just supporting me. Yeah, it's amazing how things have like grown in such a short period of time.
Yeah, so why don't you, just for anybody who's listening who does not know, this is Angie Faith. I see. So do you go by Angie Faith or Angie O?
Oh, Angie Faith is my
Angie Faith. Okay,
artist
so
name.
Angie Faith, the Joy Burst Talent Search winner for 2023. Super congratulations to you. How did you even find out about this?
Thank you. Well, I was on TikTok and I actually saw this singer singing, and she was amazing. I was like, this girl can really sing. And she had like a hashtag Joy Burst Talent Search in her post. So I was like, oh, what's that? And then I remember writing in her comments, I was like, if there's a public voting, you've got my vote. So um yeah, I was just like thankful to her because of her sharing what she loves to do and her beautiful voice, I got an opportunity to check out this contest and this talent search. So I clicked on the hashtag Joyburst Talent Search, and then that actually took me to your page. And I checked out you and what you do, and saw Vanilla Ice say, "Yo, what's going down? 10 grand, man!" And Brad Woodgate. I followed all of y'all, like even before I entered the talent search, just because of like, your content and your energy. I just really appreciate all three of you. And so, yep, I did that. And then I had some questions, of course, as you know, about entering, just to try to figure it out. But yeah, you were really helpful. And then I entered, and then I just let it go. I just let it go. I was like, okay, what's meant to be will be. And then it happened.
Then it was.
And then it
right?
was. It
and then it was.
Fast.
Yeah. No, really, congratulations. Really congratulations. Especially too, because like you were very like engaged. I think that really matters. Like it does. Like it does. It does really matter to be engaged, because it also helps to show like, oh, you know what? This is also going to be a person who cares about like our mission and like the brand and what we stand for and bringing joy to people. And like, like all of those alignment things play a part. Like they really do play a part.
Absolutely.
So I have to ask, I'm like, so what are you going to do with the money?
Definitely investing it into my career, into my dream. This year is like a launching year for my career. I've been at this for a really long time, and I'm a full-time performing artist here in Vancouver, BC. And I know there's a difference between being like a working musician, right? And making money and playing covers and adding originals, and there's being an artist, right? And making your own music and sharing that with the world. So my intention is to spend this money on some studio costs and like anything that's really going to forward my intention as an artist. And and then, just like have some fun with it, just allow myself to spend it on things that bring me joy, not just all business, like
Yeah.
maybe take me and my partner like away for like on like a nice trip, or I don't know. I've never had $10,000 before, Kevin. It's kind of like it's still a shock to me. I have this like giant check in my house and I'm like, I'm going to have to find a picture frame big enough to frame this beautiful keepsake. I don't, yeah, that's my answer. I kind of know, but I also don't at the same time. And so, yeah, I'm
That's
just,
part of the beauty,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Is to be able to have the freedom, like that's a gift, right? Like it's a
Mm,
gift to be able to have the freedom to allow your mind to imagine possibility.
absolutely. Yep.
That's a really beautiful thing. So when you say a long time that you've been making music, how long is a long time?
Mm, I started writing when I was 10. Is this the part where I tell my age?
No, 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 no. If you want to maneuver, if you want to maneuver, that's cool. Like, yeah.
Yeah, over. Yeah, I
It
would
was
say
in
like
the last millennium? Was it? No, I'm playing.
yeah, over 15 years for sure.
Word. That's a
Yeah.
long time. That is a
Hmm.
long time. And so
Yeah,
what
it's a
like
lifetime for me.
what was the pathway for you? Was it like, you were the choir kid or a band kid or
Good question.
church or
Really good question. I'm the musical theater kid, actually.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm like, I kind of already got the vibe that you were a musical theater kid. I did because when I was looking at your content, I'm like, oh yeah, def.
Yeah.
I, I
Yeah.
went to
My
school for
dad.
music, so I'm like, you can tell the musical theater kids. You can tell them.
Yeah, I know, right? And so my dad always, it's so funny because there's the theater that I grew up in here in Richmond, which is like in Vancouver where I live. And every time we drive past Gateway Theater, my dad always says, you were 6 years old. I dropped you off at the back door there. And I was like, bye, Angela. And like away you went. And,
That's
that
awesome.
was the beginning, like really 6 years old.
What were your favorite roles that you played?
Oh, so many. Okay. I really enjoyed Mary Poppins. That was during the like fall programs. I was in it 365. Like I was in the spring, fall, and then the big Christmas productions that went all the way into the new year that Gateway Theater would do. And so I believe, yeah, it was in the fall when I was Mary Poppins. And that was like just so cool to be Mary Poppins. And then there was
I imagine you with
another,
the umbrella, just like.
yeah, Spoonful of Sugar. I can still remember that song. And then there was Honk, which is like the story of the ugly duckling. And I was the frog. And I had a solo song called Warts and All, if you go find that musical Honk.
Warts and
And
all.
I remember
Okay.
going to Mac and getting green lipstick and like bright green eyeshadow. And I had like a green jumpsuit. I was just like a kid, right? I was probably like 11 years old at the time, like a preteen. Yeah.
Like a
So there was that.
preteen. Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not, like
yeah.
I'm imagining how that went down. It's like, oh, who are you? Like, I'm the frog. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's
With the
such a great
warts and
song.
all. Like,
Yeah. And
yeah.
that was the line was out there. Somebody's going to love you, warts and all. That was the message.
Hmm.
And I think that's so beautiful.
That
I
is
still hold on to
beautiful.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
So then what
And
got
then,
you into the cover world then? Because I'm like, okay, so you probably did a
okay.
bunch of musical theater,
Oh, yeah.
and that took you through school.
Okay, but hold on. There's
But
just one more. There's
yeah.
one more that's like the top. Like I'm building, right? Um, then there was The Sound of Music, and I was Brigitte. I was one of the Von Trapp children, so like the middle child, and that was amazing. I got to know myself as somebody who was like unstoppable in that time in my life because I got sick during that musical production, and my understudy, we did have understudies in case that happened because it was such a huge cast. She got to step in, and I think that was the moment where the like mechanic of like the show must go on got like built into me. And then, yeah, like to answer your question, like with cover songs and being like a performer and a live performer, then it got planted, right? The seed got planted in that moment. And I was like, I have to go after it in every capacity. So I started writing music. I put a band together in my high school. We won Battle of the Bands. We were like rock stars, man. we were we had band t-shirts and CDs, and we played at all the festivals and all the community centers, and oh my goodness, we had some good times. Yeah. And then when I was 18, I kind of went away from the like band, the originals, and I started playing covers. And I had mentors. I had my father, I had Rachel Chatur, a really good friend of mine who's still in the music industry. And they were the people that helped me get the gigs, that gave me the PA, that taught me how to make the book with the set list. And after doing it for a year and a half, or maybe even a year, I was off book. I had my set list. I had the clients, and I just kept it going. And here we are today.
Word. So that makes me have questions. Like
Okay.
when you were talking in there, and that was me like being eager, right? I'm like jumping. I'm like, we cut off half your life story because I'm like, oh, I got a question. No, like, so it made me want to know, like, how did you end up in the cover world from musical theater world? That like, what happened that made you say like, I don't want to pursue musical theater
Mm.
like longer, and I want to like pivot and go this direction with my musical talent?
It's a great question because, yeah, like there was a time where I remember being young and going, by the time I'm 22, I'll be living in New York City. I'll be at Broadway. I did have those dreams. I think it started with the songwriting. Honestly, when I started writing my own music and got a taste of what it was like to play with my band and have the crowd sing my music back to me, my words, and we did. We had my friends, like, oh my gosh, my parents were so supportive, still are. But like they let us pack the downstairs garage of our apartment with kids. Oh my goodness, like I can't even imagine what it was like for them just having all these kids coming in. So it was like I got a taste. I got a taste of what it was like to write my own music, to have a fan like following, to be like the star of my own creations. And that
Right.
was it. I fell in love and I was like, this is what I want to be doing. And then I just started playing more shows, bigger festivals, bigger stages, building that audience. And then the age of social media came and totally changed the game for what was possible. Right. You know, and yeah, but at the heart of it, like I love performing for people, and I love performing like different styles of music. Like musical theater is very vocally based, which I am a vocalist and I do have a powerful voice. But, when you play like rock and roll or kind of like folk music or like jazz, like there's so many genres that you can play with. And so I think that I started to discover my sound as well through like writing music, and had so many amazing moments and memories with people. And I just knew, I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this on like a global scale. And my whole career has been a trajectory of that dance of like, working musician so I can pay my bills and live a really beautiful life. And
Mm-hmm.
the artist who's, working on her music. And I just have put this trust in myself and in God, that like when the time comes, like I'll be ready, but I've just been waiting for that like opportune moment to like launch.
Word. And
Yeah,
this is a great launch pad.
it is a
This is a
great
great
launch
launch
pad.
pad. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
like, personally, I was curious because I speak to a lot of artists,
Mm,
and obviously like I've had my own journey with, so it's like it's always very interesting to hear like what are the things that goes on in someone's mind and in their heart,
mm,
um and how that's met, like juxtaposed against reality that they live, right? The reality that is their reality, because
mm-hmm,
there was this, I was getting the feeling of there's this love for performing, and there's a love for like, then that love it blossomed even more when you got to write your own stuff and create your own art. And then we went to cover music, so I'm like, this is like the I need to discover how to earn a living while
Yep.
creating. You know, like,
Absolutely.
and that is
And
such a big hurdle. That is a really big
yeah,
hurdle for so many independent musicians to figure out, like, how do I make money off of my own music?
absolutely. Oh yeah, we're still figuring it out in this day and age. We're still figuring that one out, right? But the other thing too, Kevin, is like regarding the covers, and this is something that was pointed out to me by an audience member. Like I was doing this like unknowingly, but I take other people's music and I make it my own. So you go listen to my cover of me singing Dreams a cappella, and it doesn't really sound like the record Dreams. It's like my own adaptation of it. And that
Yeah.
became its own trending thing, as we know, with like YouTube, right? People taking covers, making mashups, doing their own versions. But I've been doing that since like day one. I just don't know how else to do music. I just take people's creations and I make them my own. And so I think that also has had me be extremely successful at what I do as a cover artist, is that people are guaranteed a really authentic and unique show. They're going to hear the songs that they know, but they're going to hear them done differently every single time. And what started to build as well is people's love for the renditions that I do.
Word. So tell me, what's your favorite rendition? Like, I have two. So here we go again with the questions. Like,
Mhm.
what is your artist sound that makes your covers unique? And what are your favorite songs to cover?
Well, my artist sound, I would say, is like a blend between like Adele and like the like soulful resonance of like Aretha Franklin, and then blend that with like Jessie J and Miley Cyrus, especially Miley with the more like kind of like country like tones to it, like the folksy rock, that grit that Miley has, that love for performance that Miley has. I mean, gosh, I grew up with Miley, so I have so much love and respect for her as an artist.
You grew up with Miley or you grew up with Hannah Montana? No, I'm
Both,
just playing with you.
both, like
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's like my sound. It's like, a marriage between all those artists put together. And then I'm so sorry, what was your other question?
What's your favorite songs to like cover?
Okay, so there's so many because I cherry pick my whole set list, right? They're all my
Yeah.
favorites. But I would say right now, one of my
Like if it was
favorite
a karaoke night. So you
yeah,
only had one, so there's like, oh, this is the song that I do.
just one? That's all I get? Okay. Well, I just did it the other night, actually. There was American Idol karaoke here at the American in a bar here in Vancouver. And I
Lit.
almost won, actually. That was so much fun. I'm going back again for sure. And I sang The Climb. And The
The
Climb is
Climb.
like a theme song for from my life, for my generation's life. Like I think that song, the way it's sung, those lyrics is one of the most powerful songs ever written, and I just love singing it. I love how there's vocal dynamics, it builds, it gives you that like ability to just hit that note, that like really long note, that it has a real relatability and a real vulnerability in the lyrics as well. And the message is like, it's not about how fast I get there. It's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
Right. That
I love
journey
that.
is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm glad that you're getting an opportunity to share your journey. Right.
Yeah, me too.
And I like, personally, we'll probably edit this part out of the podcast because this is honestly just for me and you. But I would like to lend a hand in this next few months of your journey,
Mm,
because when I ask you something like, what would you do, like, or what are you planning on doing, and you're kind of like, I don't really know, I'm like, well, that's great, because it is great and it is awesome to have that. Like, that is like a beautiful feeling, and I want you to like sit in that feeling for a bit, because
thank
that's
you.
beautiful. But also hearing that, like, you're like, okay, I'm a working musician, and like, but I have this love for original music and I want to move my career and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, then, like, honestly, you do kind of need a plan. You need a plan, you need a strategy, you need connections, you need like, and it will take time. But if what you are saying is that all of the things don't matter and that you actually do genuinely enjoy the process. And I'm like, great, I'm totally down to help you along your process, because like that's really what it's going to take. It's going to take some extra things, right? You know, and
Yep.
knowing people helps. Like knowing people helps.
Yeah. Oh
So
gosh,
it
yeah.
does, you know, so you need more opportunities. And what what I have experienced even personally doing things is like that you can get something that lifts you a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then you don't necessarily know how to grab it all, so you lose the momentum, and you kind of
Yeah.
like you're like
Oh gosh, yeah.
and then you're like, what do I do? I need another boost, you know, and then
Yep.
you're wondering where it's going to come from. So I'm like, yeah, no,
Mm.
this is cool, this is a great lift, you know, super congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
But like, and this is why I said we're probably gonna edit this out. It's like, you know, we also do have to be realistic and say that like this was Joyburst Talent Search 2023. This means that the focus of the brand itself will likely shift. You have like 6 months,
Yeah.
because then they're gonna try to build another one,
Yeah.
and then they're gonna have another person that you know what I mean. So it's like, okay,
Yeah.
there's a window. There is a
There is a
window of
window.
time,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to be, and like to operate in the best ways that work for you inside of that window. And I'm like, that's
Mm.
super important. That's a very important thing. Uh,
I
so
hear you.
yeah, I just wanted to make that like a little caveat side note. Just like, yeah,
Thank
you know,
you. I
no,
appreciate you.
it matters. And especially
Yeah.
like being, I came from the cover music world too. Like, I mean, I
Oh, so
started with
you
original
know.
music and stuff, but I spent time in the middle. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Like, and our cover band was big. And I like, it sounds to me like you also did not use any agents or agencies.
Um, I did
You did?
like
Okay, cool. It doesn't
before the
matter. I got
the
plenty of
pandemic.
friends that use them. Mhm.
Yeah, I have. I predominantly book myself as a solo artist, and I see myself doing it more actually. Like right now, so I'm really big on manifestation, like huge. I believe in the power of putting pen to paper. I think there's something distinct about writing things out than typing things. There's something
Mhm.
distinct about speaking things out into existence, like having other people listen to your vision. That really does move life forward, whatever life is looking like for you. So, you know, I I have been having like visions, like I'm like, do I really want to get into this? But okay, I'm gonna go there. I
Yeah.
close my eyes when I'm on stage. So this is my process. Okay, I'll be on stage at a bar. I perform at the Alice every Monday. I'll close my eyes and I'll first be grateful for the moment. I'm grateful for the experience, the ability to be in this bar, the ability to do what I love and make a living, to be here, to be asked to be here every week, to be building that audience. Like I really root into extreme gratitude for the moment. And then I have this like vision, and it's like I can hear it. I can hear the roar of the crowd, and I can see the stadium like lit up with like all the lights. And I know that in this moment, why it's important to be grateful is because this is part of it. This is part of the journey and the climb. And I won't always be doing shows like this. And so these moments are intimate and they're precious. And it won't always be like this. And that's what releases that want of like, wanting to go forward, but then, not being fulfilled. Like I think a lot of artists get stuck in that rut of not being really fulfilled in what they're doing. So I
Right.
create that fulfillment for myself because it is part of the journey. And then I visualize what I'm moving towards. And I know it's coming. I keep seeing Rogers Arena, which is like the stadium here in Vancouver. And I actually took my shot to play at Rogers Arena on Saturday. And I still don't know if I'm playing there on Saturday. But the point is I took my shot.
Right.
Like I did that. I was like, some people talk themselves out of taking the shot. You got to take the shot, man.
You got to take the shot.
You got
You
to take
got
the
to take
shot.
the shot. The
No,
game is on the line every
that's
time. You got to
it.
take the shot. Yeah.
That's right. And so I now know myself, especially this year, as somebody who's open and willing to taking the shot, and I trust. That's when I seal it off with like just trusting in my faith, trusting in the belief that I have in myself, and the belief that my family and my friends, my loved ones, my fans, so many people believe in me. And it is undeniable the gift that I have and the love that I have for music. And I trust that as I grow, as I get older, as the journey continues, I'm going to land where I'm supposed to land. I'm going to go and I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. And it's never been about being famous or having like my name in lights. Like, yeah, that's part of it. Maybe, right? If I want to play at Rogers Arena Stadium, I'm going to bank that's probably part of it. But
Right.
that's not what drives me. What always has driven me is singing live for the people and them singing back and them yelling and screaming and clapping and seeing like the lights in the audience and the moments that I get to connect with people when I get off stage and they cry and I hug them and I hold them and I look at people in the eyes and I thank them for listening and I thank them for to share that moment with me because it matters to me. It means something to me that I get to be someone who gets to do what I love. Like that means something to me. But then the fact that I get to share that with other people and have them receive that and know that that's impacting them, it's just beautiful. And it means everything to me. And it's all I've ever wanted to do. If you had asked me when I was 7 years old, I would have told you the exact same thing I'm telling you right here, right now.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like living in your purpose.
Yeah, it
And it's a
is.
blessing when you get to live within your purpose.
Yes,
It
it is.
is the most incredible blessing. Yeah. Like I get it. And that passion resonates with me. I'm like,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely why I want to help you.
Thank you.
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. This is
I'm a yes, just so you know. Like I'm all
it's
in.
not
I'm a yes for
often.
it.
Yeah, like cuz I'm like I don't know, like I'm not saying that like, it's like, "Oh, I'm going to change your life." I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that like
Mm,
I can help you. Like, that's what I'm
yeah.
just saying is like, no, but I can help you.
Mm,
Because I have I've been in this place before.
mm,
I've been in this place before and then like not utilized it the right way. And then like cuz it's easy to get caught in a moment. It's easy to, you know, just not understand how
excuse me.
the business can, oh, you're good, like to not understand like really how like the business side of things can work too, because
Oh
so much
yeah,
of it is like, we're these feely people, right? We're
yeah.
like
There's
all
that.
energy and vibes and feelings and emotions, and
Yeah.
like we're just rolling.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, sometimes you can miss that, like it's like, no, there's actually like a lot of organization, planning, and like business that's happening here.
Yeah.
And it's okay if like that's not something that you excel in. The point is to to identify the things that you do,
Yeah.
identify what you have and what you're good at. Identify
Mm-hmm.
all of the things that you could use assistance in or help with or whatever it is like that, and then find the individuals
Yep.
who are willing to like contribute to the team that are putting together.
Yeah. It's a
And
beautiful way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah, well, that's like really how you can become successful. It's how you can do this for like really for the rest of your life, and at a particular level, and at a level that continues to allow you to be present. Because
Mm.
while like I truly do, because you really honestly made me think about like my days of like playing piano in the country clubs and stuff, which I still do from time to time. But it's
Amazing.
like those feelings of being like, I am just going to be thankful that I get to play music.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm here right now, I get to play music, I'm going to be thankful. But the a very real reality is that your feelings are things that change, and
Oh yeah.
things you can end up in a place where you're like, all right, this is cool, but it's time for something else. Like,
Yep.
if it's the climb, you want to be climbing,
Yes.
not hanging on. Like there's just a difference.
That's
Like,
totally different.
yeah, there's just a difference. So you're
And
like,
you
all
know,
right, yeah, I've been hanging on for a little bit too long. It's time to start climbing again. Like, that's a real thing. So
you
yeah, I
gotta write a
just
song about that, Kevin.
yeah, like that was a real thing, and like you can, it's like you need rest, right? Like
Hmm.
that. I feel like that's what it's like. It's like you climb, you rest a little bit, but
Yes.
if you rest too long,
Yeah.
like that might not work out. But yeah, like how long have you been doing cover music?
Mm,
Like, have you been out and doing the? Has it all been all? Is all of your cover music career all solo?
well, those are really good questions. Okay, so the first one, I would say probably 27 years of cover music.
Okay.
Yeah. And it started with me singing, just singing, like singing to tracks, like old school, like singing Mariah Carey gospel, winning the talent search. And then my dad, who's also a musician, him and I would do shows together. And that's also what got me writing my own music, was that my dad played guitar. So I would go to my dad with like melodies in my head. Like I'm a melody maker. So you'll find me walking around life. It's often in the woman's washroom where I'm like washing my hands and I'm just like humming. And someone will go, "You have a beautiful voice." And I'll be like, "Thank you."
Thank you.
just, just I'm just not even thinking about it. So yeah, so with my dad being a working musician, so I'm third generation. So my grandfather, who you saw me telling that I won
Yeah,
Joyburst to, oh my gosh, that was so special. I tried so hard not to cry in that moment.
that's such a beautiful moment. It's great that you have that on camera.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because my auntie kind of cut my face out of it, but it's just like that's how real it was. She was just like holding it, right? She's not like a camera crew person. Like that's my aunt, my dad's sister at my dad's birthday, holding the phone so I can like kneel down and tell my grandpa, who's almost 90 years old, that like I did it. Like I got some recognition. Like people are seeing me now, It's not just like, you know, like I'm undiscovered, like I'm being discovered, like I'm on my way. And I'm grateful that he's alive to see that and hear that, because, not everybody gets that chance, right? So,
Amen.
yeah. Yeah. So my grandpa is a working musician, my father and me. So I'm third generation. We're part Fijian. So my dad's from Fiji. And it's it's like it looks like this: solo career, duet with my dad, family band with my mom, my dad, my sister, and me, then more solo career and me playing guitar and being a vocalist. So I, would do a lot of shows like just me and my guitar, like Ed Sheeran, right?
Hmm.
Busking, performing anywhere and everywhere. I have cut my teeth in this city. Absolutely. And then I got to a place where I started working with agencies. I started doing like the casino circuits. I had a 2-year contract at the River Rock, the Fairmont. You'll see all that in my bio. And also somewhere down that like timeline, I performed at the opening ceremony for the Winter Olympics that were hosted here in Vancouver.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's really cool.
Yeah, it is cool, right? And I did that with my dad. And then, um, it started to become like I would hire players. So I put the band together, but they were like hired, seasoned veteran players. And I would do a blend of like band shows and then originals, at the band shows as well, right? So covers and originals. And then I started to play covers and originals with me and my guitar. So it was really with the band, they were like, we want to hear your songs. Like, let's play your songs too. And I'd already done that with like the band, like in high school as well. So yeah, it's just honestly, I'm sorry. It's just like a long timeline. So it's
Yeah,
like
no, it's
I'm not always
okay.
like the best at saying like things like chronological order, but yeah, it's just been like it's been so much. Like I was talking about this with my manager the other day. I have worked really hard with my career. And I've done a lot of things. And I think what you were speaking to on the business perspective, what we're implementing this year into my career is like focus. So he's like, taking everything that I've done and compiling it. We're rebranding and we've written me a new bio to really like summarize the things that I've participated in and the accomplishments I've had. But the cool thing that I feel like is present right now is I think now is the time where I'm really writing that story. Like I'm going to look back in the next like 5 to 10 years and go like 2023 was the year that Angie Faith's career like really took off. And then I met Kevin McCove and we became like partners and friends, and he helped me in many ways and introduced me to these people, and it was just a beautiful organic creation of like people coming together and working together. And just I think the common thread is like the love for music and the passion for music. I really do believe that. Like those who are really authentically passionate about what they do, like we just come together. We can't help ourselves.
I can vibe with that. I
Yeah.
think that people who, I will add to that and say that for me personally, it's not about the music. It's about the individual behind the music.
Mm.
And like, who are they? Do I like them? Do other people like them? Are they good human beings? Is the world a better place because they exist? Is like that kind of a
Mm.
thing. Like I think that like people find each other, So
Yep.
in that same likeness, but in music, it's like every single human being loves music. Like regardless, like
It's
every
true.
human being loves music. So I
It's
don't
true.
categorize it as like music. I'm like
Yeah.
it's more finite than that. And at the
Yeah.
core, there's like an essence or an aura or energy that exudes from an individual that allows you to like say like wow, there's love behind that person, there's faith behind that person, there's compassion behind that individual, and those things are like what really speak to individuals,
Beautifully said.
especially now where connection is, it's a little harder. I mean, we're connecting, but we're also probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5 6,000 miles away from each other, so but even with that, this is our first time interacting with each other. It's the first time
Yeah.
speaking to each other.
Yeah.
I knew that about you already.
Oh, it's so cool. I
you
love that.
know and it's like, well, then so does your fan base, so are
Yeah.
the people who are not your fans yet but will just interact with you, and even if they never become your fans, their life will be better just because they got to interact with something that you did, because there's like a positive nature about you that will get imprinted onto everything that you do, and that's valuable for the world.
Mm, thank you. That is such a beautiful way of sharing that. And I loved everything you said. Like thank you for the acknowledgement. Thank you for seeing me. Like I really appreciate that. And I really believe in it. Like I didn't oh my gosh, I didn't always view myself as a loving person. I actually had some not so nice things to say about myself growing up as a teenager. And it's cuz I got bullied a lot. Like a lot. I was like I just couldn't ever fit in, and I think it's just cuz like I would stand out. I remember my parents always saying, they're just jealous of you, you know? And so as I got older, I did everything I could to blend in, to dim my shine, to not be too much, to not be all of that. And okay, I wasn't expecting to cry. Sorry.
No, you don't need to apologize.
Um wow. I believe that the things that I've gone through in my life have given me the wisdom and the teachings to be someone who can make a difference for people, who can speak from those dark spaces. And the fact that I am a positive and loving human being. And I am that at my core, makes the triumph over the darkness so much more powerful. And I'm grateful for the work that I've done on myself to be someone who can acknowledge that I had those experiences, but that doesn't make me who I am. And then be someone that can who can speak to that in the world for other people. And yes, music is like a way that I convey those emotions and those messages, but I also just being with another human being, looking them in the eyes, speaking with them, interacting with them. I know that people can feel that. They can feel my love, but they also can feel, the struggles that I've gone through. And that's also what makes this win so beautiful. It's just like, like just if there's one message I could share to like people in the world, whether you're an artist or just like anything, you're just a human being, like believe in yourself and share your vision with others, and you will find those to like rally around you. But don't dim your shine just because the world is jealous of you or other people fear you. Do not dim your shine, because that's who you are, and it's your right to shine. Like we all have a right to be bold and beautiful. And it's funny how like the program, the mechanics, like as I refer to them, it's like, yeah, I apologize for crying. I know there's nothing to be sorry for. Crying is not something to apologize for. It's just automatic, right? But yeah, I I'm so grateful for the experience that like the experiences that I've had, because they definitely have made me who I am today. And I'm really grateful that you said, it is not so much about the music, because yeah, anybody can make great music. It is the person behind the music. It's that human being. That's what resonates with people. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I just really want to be somebody who makes a difference in the world. I
Well, I
think
think
that's all.
everything that you just said
Yeah.
is going to make a difference.
Yeah.
It's going to make a difference.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm glad we just took a little moment to sit in that. I took a deep breath with you. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, nah, it's beautiful. Seriously. Um, and I mean, I think that's great. Like, I'm like, oh, it's so good. Oh, but we chose the right person. Like, that's how I feel on the inside right now. I shit you not. I'm like, yes, like, yeah, that's how I feel. I really do. I'm very excited. Like I'm more fired up for you now. I'm like, yes, yes. I'm yeah. I'm really, really, really happy for you,
Thank you.
and I'm looking forward to developing our friendship.
Me
Seriously.
too. Yeah,
And
me
I'm
too.
looking forward to seeing like how your relationship develops with Joyburst, and Brad,
Yeah.
and because he's a great individual. He is
Yeah.
someone who believes in things too, which I think is very, very important. Even the fact that he wanted to do this and get behind, like, he loves music, and then put together something that helps independent artists, and that it's just like, wow, that's awesome, dude. Like, yeah,
He's
that's
awesome. He's
that's
awesome.
really incredible. Yeah, so I really believe in you. I really
Thank
believe in the brand and what they're trying to do,
you.
and I really believe in people. And I
Yep.
think that anyone looking to better themselves, to put themselves in a position that gets them unstuck, like,
Yeah.
not suspended, I think anybody who gets to hear what you just said
Mm.
will their life is going to be better for it. it's really gonna matter, and I'm really excited for you to get some music out into the world, and for people to be able to, like, champion you and get behind your journey and sing your songs, and like,
Yeah.
I really do want that for you, and I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you for coming on to the
Thank
podcast.
you. Thank you
Seriously.
so much for having me. This was like amazing, and um I just loved how like vulnerable we got to be with each other, like how real this interview, this conversation that we got to have was. It was really special. And I love moments like these, and I'm just really grateful that we got a chance to be with each other, to connect. And thank you for those who are like listening and tuning in and supporting Kevin as well. Like, I just want y'all to know I appreciate you so much. And thank you to Joyburst. Like, oh my goodness, I'm just so grateful and so happy. And I have this song called My Future by Billie Eilish that I sing, and the lyrics are like, I'm in love with my future, and that is truly how I feel. Like, I'm grateful for this present moment, and I'm in love with the future, and I'm excited for what's coming. I'm ready for it. I've been ready. I'm like, what they say, when preparation meets opportunity. I'm like, I'm prepared. I was born for this. Let's go. I'm ready.
Word. So I'm gonna close this podcast with
Okay.
my mantra, which is that my future can be better than my present, and I have the power to make it so. And your future is looking bright.